Okay, we're gonna can some chicken legs today, guys. I don't have time for this, but I thought, well, while I'm doing it, I've got to do it because look at this. I went to the local market and got all these chicken legs. This is like, I don't even know how many pounds of chicken legs. I'm like, what in the world am I gonna do with these? I've done it before. I've went down and got it before like that. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to can some because I definitely don't have room in the freezer right now. So this is what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna take you step by step because again, it's one of those things that, it doesn't take much time or effort, a little bit of effort, but I mean, it's something that we need to get back to doing. And it's safe if you take all the precautionary, things and do it the right way and do it safely. So I'm going to step you through this, and I'm going to try to do this quickly, but I'm going to step you through the whole process, okay? So I've started out, and don't mind my kitchen. Look, I'm getting ready for the farmer's market. I got all kinds of stuff going on. I got bread. My whole kitchen table is just full of bread. So I'm started out cooking. I'm cooking my jars. No, I'm just kidding. I am boiling my jars. They're washed and they're clean, and I'm putting them in this water. Okay, and we're going to put some vinegar in there. And that's going to keep your jars from getting that film that they get over them, when you can them or pressure can them. Or we're going to pressure can because that's how you safely do meat. You can do it the other way. People do it the other way, okay? And back in the day, they did, okay? They did, and still people do it, but I don't feel comfortable with it yet. And I just don't. So I can it in a pressure canner, but I do boil them in my water bath canner, okay? Because I'm going to boil them for 10 minutes and make sure they're clean because, listen, I don't like to get sick. I don't know about you all, but I don't like to get sick, and if I got food poisoned, I just don't want to. I don't want to if I can try to keep from it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to get off here, and I'm going to take you step by step, and I'm not going to keep you on the whole time because this takes a while to boil, and it takes a while to in between, okay? I'm going to get off here in between, and then when it comes to the next step, I'll be back on here, and I'll tell you what to do next, all right? All right, I'm back, and I've got all my jars. They've been sterilized, okay? And I have my lids. They've been cleaned, and they're in hot water, and I've got my water in my pressure canner. It takes about 3 quarts to put in your pressure canner, but I wait until I put my jars in there, and then I kind of decide if I need a little less or a little more, and I'll show you that when we get to that point. And then I've got my hot water that I'm going to put in here with these. You don't have to, but I do. I fill them up, and I leave an inch head space, and we'll get to that here in a minute. So I'm going to do the raw pack, okay, the raw pack. And here in a minute, I will show you what mine looks like already canned, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. So I just take my raw chicken with clean hands. And I take my raw chicken, and I'm going to put them in these hot jars, okay? And wide mouth jars works lots better for chicken legs, okay? Chicken breast you can cut up, and it's a lot easier. But these chicken legs, you see how big these are? I don't know. My chickens don't get this big. But we're going to can these, and it'll be okay. So I kind of staggered them. I'll put the big end, I put the big end down, and then I'll put the little end down, and then I'll put the big end down, if I can keep from dropping them. And you're going to stuff them in there, okay? These are big. These are so big, these chicken legs are. I try to get 4. I don't know if I can get 4. I just may get 3 of these in here. This one looks a little smaller. Yeah, it'll work. Whatever you can get in there, okay? And you're going to put them pretty tight. See how tight that is? After it pressure cooks, okay, under 10 pounds of pressure for 90 minutes, it is going to be a lot less in this jar. That's going to all kind of shrink down and everything, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine because it's going to cook. Now, why do I do the raw pack? I do the raw pack because it pressure cooks under that much pressure for 90 minutes. When I open this up, and I used one of these on my jambalaya the other night, and I open it up, and the meat just falls off the bone. Everything is so good. It's so good. And you've got it on the shelf when you need it, because I was in a hurry, like I always am, and I was like, oh no, I'm making jambalaya and I didn't lay any chicken out. No worries. I went in, I got off the pantry shelf, and I got me a can of chicken, and that's what I used, okay? And the chicken legs are really good for dishes like that. So your darker meat, okay? But I do the white meat too, and I make like chicken salad out of it, and I put it in another dish that I make with vegetables is really good. So anyways, I'm gonna pack all these jars, and then I'll show you the next step, so I'll be right back. All right, I got all these packed, and I got 4 chicken legs in each quart jar, okay? I stuffed them in there just as tight as I could get them. And I've got about 1 inch headspace in these. Whoops. I'm telling you, it's been a day. So bear with me. All right, so now we're gonna now listen, you use the canning salt, if that's what you wanna use. That's what I used to always use. And then I got hooked onto this Redmond salt. And it's just, I like it better. I like it so much better. And just knowing that it has the minerals and everything in it that you need, I like it better. So I put a teaspoon of the Redmond salt in each jar. I don't think you have to have this. It doesn't do anything for the canning process. I think this is just for, you know, for yourself if you like it saltier. And I do like salt. So then, after we put salt in there, we're gonna put some hot water, okay? Or you can use broth if you wanna put broth. Maybe you wanna do these for chicken and noodles or chicken and dumplings or chicken noodle soup or whatever. You know, you may wanna use broth, and that's fine. But it needs to be kind of warm, because you're gonna be putting these into here and you want them to be a little bit warm. So right now they've cooled off because I've took so long to do it, but that's okay, that's all right. So then we're gonna put our little canning thing there. Let me put this over here where I can, so you can see what I'm doing. We're gonna fill each one of these jars up, okay, till you have a 1 inch headspace, which is about where the top of the chicken is. I pushed it a little far on a couple of them. I ain't kidding. I do that sometimes. It's not, you shouldn't do that. It's not a good practice, but sometimes I do. Then you're gonna take your little bubble air popper thing, and you're gonna get underneath this chicken the best you can, because you wanna get all those air bubbles out, and I can see them coming up. You can see you put that water in there, and these are packed so tight. And you just want to get all that, try to get all that air out of there. And you probably will have to add a little bit more water maybe. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to have to. I think I'll be fine. Now I'm just going to show you on this jar, and then I'm going to get off here and do the rest of these jars, okay? So we've gotten this far. Push him back down in there. After this step, you're going to grab you some paper towels, a little bit of that vinegar. Man, I'm looking at the back of my kitchen and I'm like, what a mess. It is a mess, you guys. I'm getting ready for the farmer's market, and I have been in this kitchen all week long. Yesterday I was in here 12 hours. 12 hours in this kitchen. Okay, then you're gonna wipe this off really good, okay? Because we've got, who knows what we got. We got chicken on here, we got salt on here. We want to get all this off because we want our lid to seal really good, okay? Because so we can preserve this and it be safe for us to eat, all right? Okay, so we wiped that off. Then we're gonna get our lid. We're gonna get us a lid, and we're gonna put that on there. And these, again, these are clean and they're sterile. And then we're gonna get a ring, okay? Finger tight, don't crank them down, just finger tight. I gotta show you guys this really quick. I didn't want this to be a long video, and I hope it's not, because I want you to stay with me, but I got this hack. I don't even know where I got this from. I see so much stuff, but this is just a paper towel holder thing that you get, you know, at the dollar store or something. Some dollar store, tree, wherever. And you put your rings on it. Isn't that cute? Because I was like, I had rings flying everywhere. So anyways, I got that for that. Okay, back to this. So we're finger tight, and then I'm gonna do the rest of these, and I'll be right back with you, okay? Okay, here we are. So I've got 6 jars, 6 quart jars in my pressure canner. okay? And this is what my pressure canner looks like. I don't know what kind of pressure canner you have. Mine's pretty old. Not real old, but I mean, I've used it a lot. Let me put it that way. I've used it a lot. So, but this is what I have, and then you put the weights on it, okay? So most of my stuff that I pressure cook is for 10 pounds of pressure. You go by your elevation where you're at. You can get that online. You can put in your address and get your elevation, okay? And then it's so many pounds of pressure for, you know. So each one of these little rings is 5 pounds. This is 5 pounds. And then you put this little ring on it, and that makes it 10 pounds. So we're going to do 10 pounds of pressure for 90 minutes for the quarts. I think it's 45. I'm not sure for the pints. You probably need to look that up because I don't remember. I don't do many pints of meat. I do mostly quarts. But anyway, so 90 pounds of pressure, okay? So anytime you got a pressure canner like this, a lot of people are scared of them, and I used to be one of those people because my husband's grandmother's blew up on her stove. And he's told me stories, and it's just always scared me of it until I got older. And then I was like, well, I got to get over this fear because I want a can, you know. So he bought me a canner, and then it was off to the races. But anyway, you want to make sure that this seal, it comes out. You want to make sure this rubber seal is always in good shape, okay? A lot of people use the, oh, what are they called now? I have one of them, Instant Pot, or yeah, I've heard of people using that to can stuff. I don't know. I just do it the old-fashioned way because that's how I know how to do it, okay? And then there's another electric pressure canner. Somebody asked me about that the other day, a friend of mine, and I really don't know anything about that, but I can tell you how to do it this way. So if you have one of these, make sure that's good, the rubber seal. Make sure this little thing is free of any dirt, debris, food, anything like that, okay? Because that's what's going to come up and stop everything, and it's going to build up pressure, okay? Then I always look, this thing here, you don't want this to be plugged up because this is where you're going to put your weight on, and that's where your steam's going to come. So I always hold it up to the light, and I look and see, make sure I can see all the way through that, and it's a tiny pinhole, but make sure you can see through it, okay? So then after you do that, it'll tell you how to line it up here on your thing, and you just put it on. I was going to show you in here real quick how much water I had. Let me show you. My canner calls for 3 quarts of water, so I put 3 of these in there, and that was full, and I put that much more. That's about, because I just don't want it to run out of water. And it may not, you know, I don't know. I don't think it will, but that's what I did. Then you're going to take your lid, and you're going to put it on. You're going to line it up. I always struggle with this part. It's always got to be kind of cantankerous. There we go. Line it up. Make sure it's on good. Then you're going to put it on high heat. We're going to get this thing going, and it's going to start steaming out of here. And I'll bring you back when it starts doing that. And we're going to let it steam, which they call vent. We're going to let it vent for 10 minutes before we put this weight on it. And then we're going to let it, we won't start the 90 minutes till it starts jiggling, till it has a steady jiggle, okay? But I'll step you through that here in a minute. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to get off here and wait for it to start steaming, and then I'll show you what we do next, okay? Stick with me. All right, guys, it's steaming. My little thing over here come up. That tells me that it's ready to turn my timer on. We're going to put it on 10 minutes and set the timer, and in 10 minutes, I'll get back with you, and then we're going to put our weights on, okay? Stay with me. Okay, it's ready to go. It's been 10 minutes. It's been venting or steaming for 10 minutes. I'm going to put my 10-pound weight on top here, and I got to be very careful because that steam will burn you, okay? So I always go from the side and put it right on there. Kind of quietens things down a little bit too. So then I always keep it on high. I keep the heat on high until it starts rocking. When it gets that steady rock, and I'll bring you back when it does that, then I turn my heat down just a tad. Not much, but a little bit, okay? So I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. Listen to that. I love that sound. It's like a hissing, you hear that? Now we need to set the timer for 90 minutes. It's got to do this for 90 minutes. So we'll set it here. See an hour and 30 minutes. 90 minutes it's going to do this. And then I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit. Not much. It was on high, and I just turned it a tad underneath the high. I don't know why I do that. I just always do. If it really gets to jiggling, then you want to turn it down just a tad bit. But you really want it to build, you want it to keep that pressure in there, because that's what's cooking your meat, okay? And killing all the bacteria and organisms and everything. It's killing it at that high heat, okay? So when this is done, I'm going to let it cool off in the canner. I will take it off the heat. Never open that lid, okay? Listen to me. Never open this lid until it has set and this little things went down and all the pressures went out. I don't know how your canner works, or if you go get one, you go by the instructions, you know, the manual to your canner. But don't ever take this lid off. I mean, it will hurt you. It will hurt you. It will burn you. Okay? So, and you always want to make sure that there's no steam coming out when this comes off or anything. When it's done. After it's set. Okay? So after I set it aside and it's cooled off and I open it up, I'll bring it back and I'll show you the finished product. And then I'll show you also some of my older ones. I'll show you what they look like. Okay? I'll see you in a little while. Okay guys, it's done. It is cooled off. It's still warm, but it is cooled off enough that I can open it up. No more steam coming out. I took the weights off. My little thing here is down, so I know that it's okay. So I'm going to open it up. And always, always, always open it away from your face, okay? Just in case. And there, see all that steam coming up out of there? You always want to open that up away from you. All right. Let's take one of these out and see what it looks like. Looks good. Look at that. 90 minutes under 10 pounds of pressure, where I'm at. You find out what it is where you live. Okay, and there's two more, and they look good. They look really good. They're still cooking in the jar. I'll show you here in a minute, but I wanted to show you one of my old jars. This is one of my old jars that I canned, and, well, it's not real old. I did it on 4/14 of this year. And this is what I open up, and this stuff up here, that is good to make broth out of. And then my chicken I just put in my meals, and it's good. It's already cooked. It tastes good. It's tender. It falls off the bone. And now all those will look just like that when they get done. I'll get you down here where you can see. See those? They're still cooking. Now, when them get, I'll set them off to the side for about 24 hours. I'm not going to mess with them. Then I'm going to take the ring off, because I always take the rings off, because I don't want to get a false seal or anything, you know, and that can sometimes cause that. So I just take the rings off, and the lid is all that I keep on my cans, and I put it on the shelf, and there it is for me. And then I always make sure when I go to open something that there's no click, click, click when you push, okay? Make sure that you don't hear anything when you push on the top of that. And anytime you eat something, you push on there and you make sure that that's not moving. And then when you open it, make sure you hear that suction and that seal, okay? And on these, they're sealed good, because anytime you pressure can something, they seal pretty good. But we'll know tomorrow. I'll know, and well, that's it. That's all you do, guys. Can you some meat? Don't be afraid of it. You know, just read up on it and watch this video. There's a lot of videos about canning out there, and just don't be afraid of it. If you do it right, the way it's supposed to be done, you'll stay safe, and it'll all be good. And then you'll have stuff put up on the shelf, because we need to be doing that. It's getting, you know, this day and age, we need to be putting stuff up on the shelf that we can, and we need to be gardening, and we need to be eating our own food. Come on now. It's always better. There's just something about sitting down and eating your own food that you grew, or that you raised, or that you harvested, there's just something about eating your stuff, you know, and not just go buy it from the store. You know, you ask a kid nowadays, most of them will say, well, where do you get that? Well, at the store. Well, where's it come from? The store. And it's like, we need to be teaching these kids, you know, how to take care of animals, how to take care of gardens. I mean, this is like a lost, you know, no one's hardly doing this anymore, and it's going to be lost one day, and people aren't going to know how to do it when they really need to. So I hope you learned something from this. I know it's a long video, I'm sorry, but thanks for staying with me. But I hope it'll help you, and I'm going to do some more canning videos. I had that, I went and got that, and it's like, okay, I got to can some of this, so I'll just share it with everybody, and maybe they can, you know, get something from it, and it'll help them. Did you hear? One of my jars just popped. And, you know, maybe it'll help you guys. So, Lord willing, I'll catch you on the next video. I am so tired, you guys. I got my kitchen, I'm getting it organized and cleaned up and situated, but I've been in here all week. I've been cooking all week for this farmer's market. So, anyway, I'll probably sleep good tonight. So you all have a blessed day, and Lord willing, I'll see you on the next video. Bye.